Silas.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. So how does film?
You know, however, I guess it was like 3 years ago, I got a call from Warner Brothers that they wanted to meet on Get Smart. So I thought it was an audition because I knew Will Ferrell at some point was involved, and I think Jim Carrey had been involved early on, and they were both sort of attached as Maxwell Smart, but for one reason or another, they were no longer. So I thought they were having auditions for Get Smart. So I went over to Warner Brothers with my headshot, my resume, and went into this room. And I thought, you read the script, but I didn't have a script. I didn't know. I sat down at this table, and basically the executives from Warner Brothers came in and said that they wanted me to play the part. And so it was the most surreal moment because I went in thinking I just was going to read for it. I was happy to be in there auditioning for it, and they just offered it to me. They said they wanted to have me play Maxwell Smart. So that was one of those sort of surreal, life-changing moments for me. And from there, Pete got involved, and the cast started to assemble. And because this thing has been in development for like 10 years, so just in the last couple did it really start to take off.
No, in the trailer you have a very Don Adams vibe to you. Does that just come naturally, or?
I don't know. I wasn't trying to channel him in any way. I wasn't trying to do an impersonation because that's just him. He really staked his own character, and I was, I try to pay him homage. But I just don't. I felt like it was would be a bad idea to try to do an impersonation of him because he did it, and there was no bettering that.
What's next for you after this? You go back to the office in 2 weeks?
We go back in about 2 weeks. We shoot 6 episodes, so those should start rolling out in like April, something like that.
And then you're finishing off this season with 6 episodes?
Yes, yeah. I guess we shot like 13 at the beginning of the season before the strike. We're going to finish with 6, and then we'll be back next fall with more.
Now, at the beginning of the season, you had the hour-long episodes. Do you prefer doing those, or?
They're different. I think they will eventually split those in half when they replay them. They're different. I think those are like on a 9-day. We generally shoot a half hour in 5 days, so they add like an extra 3 or 4 days to shoot an hour long. I prefer the half hours because they're sort of sort of short and sweet, and I think it's always better to leave people wanting more. So that's my personal preference.
Well, on that note, thank you very much for talking with us.
Thanks.